Good morning, or whatever time of day it is where you are at. So this one is a thing that happened when I was learning swimming. A friend was kind of teaching me the basics. Um, You'll be surprised as to how late in life that was because I wasn't very young back then either, but I was learning nonetheless. So here's what happened. I was trying to figure out a good technique for breathing while you're swimming, and this friend of mine, he taught me this technique where he said you've got to use your mouth for breathing in and breathe out through your nose. That way you don't end up you know suffocating if the water enters your nostrils, and you have way better control over your mouth when you're trying to breathe in, and even if you happen to gulp some water. I heard him out and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So I tried it out for a bit, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes at most, and I was able to do it pretty okay. So I showed it to him saying, hey, here we go, I am able to do it, thank you. And he was like, wow, that was quick. You've already reached the third stage of learning. And I was like, third stage of learning? And that's when he told me this concept that I wanted to tell you guys. So he told me that there are these 4 stages of learning which all of us go through regardless of what we are learning. The first stage is you don't know that you don't know. So if you've not tried something out, you don't know that you don't know. Take for instance learning a bicycle, riding a bicycle. Before you've ever touched a bicycle in your life, you probably would know that you don't know how to ride it. So you go and pick up a bicycle and you try to get on and ride it, and you maybe fall, or you just have to get off quickly, and you realize that you don't know. So that's the second stage of learning, which is you know that you don't know. And then you start learning and riding the bicycle, or learning whatever it is that you've been trying to pick up, and you're now able to do it with a lot of focus and concentration. You're probably doing it very well as well, but you have to pay close attention to every single thing. Like, you have to know that I've got to push the right pedal after the left, and the left pedal after the right, and then I've got to hit the brakes in this manner, so on and so forth. That's the stage where you now know that you know. Interesting, isn't it? So when my friend told me that I was at the third stage of learning, the breathing technique, he meant to say that I now knew that I knew how to do it. And you normally think that this is probably the last stage. You know that you know. What more could happen? But interestingly, that's not the final stage. In fact, that is the hardest stage, because now you know that you know, and you've got to work so hard at keeping at it, doing that thing that you've just learned, and you've got to focus really, really hard. But then you finally come to a state where you don't have to really think about it. It gets internalized, and you can now ride the bicycle, you can now swim and breathe and do whatever it is that you've learned without having to think about it. It's like it's in your subconscious, it's a part of your subconscious. And that's the stage that's basically the final stage of learning, where you don't know that you know. Interesting, isn't it? I've been applying this understanding to pretty much everything I pick up, and I'm learning a new language right now as we speak, and it's hard because I'm at a very amateur level, but still at many levels I know that I know a few things, but it's so hard to keep it going. I'm always waiting, or I'm working at getting to the point where I don't know that I know. Alright, that was that. Not so much a story, but more a concept that I think is very interesting, and can help us identify where we are at with multiple things that we attempt in life. And tell me if you like it, if you find it interesting, and like always, thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, folks.